He blocked the doorway with a smirk carved onto his face like it belonged there. "You're nothing to her any more, loser," he said, voice oozing contempt. "She doesn't want to see you." Then he laughed, a sharp, mocking bark, the kind of sound man makes when he believes the war is already won. I didn't argue, didn't beg, didn't plead for entry. I just looked him straight in the eyes, nodded once, and stepped back into the rain. The cold soaked through my coat and shirt, but I barely felt it. I pulled out my phone, made a single call, and disappeared into the night. An hour later, chaos bloomed. The groom stormed out of the engagement party, voice shaking, fists clenched at his sides like he was trying to hold his entire world together with sheer will. "You never told me who your father really was." His fiancée, my daughter, stood frozen beneath the string lights and falling petals, her mascara streaking down her cheeks, her hands trembling. On the floor between them lay the engagement ring, spinning gently, catching glimmers of the chandelier above. 3 years ago, I gave up everything in the divorce. The house, the savings, even the old boat my father left me. I didn't fight for assets. I fought for her. All I wanted was to keep my daughter. After the dust settled, I moved into a cramped apartment on the edge of the city, worked double shifts, skipped meals, missed holidays. But I showed up when I could. Every birthday, every school recital, bearing handmade gifts and trembling hands. Still, she grew distant. And then one day, she vanished from my life completely. No more return calls. No replies to texts. I sent her photos from the past, her on her first bike, us on the lake at sunset. But they were met with silence. Eventually, that silence became the new normal. She had a new life now, a new family. My ex-wife remarried within a year to him, Daniel, the same man who stood in that doorway and told me I no longer existed. For a long time, I blamed myself. I thought maybe I hadn't been enough. Maybe I missed too many moments, came home too tired, offered too little. But then everything changed. A mistake. A forwarded email from her college financial aid office, meant for Daniel, with my address CC'd by accident. One line stopped my heart. "Thanks for posing as a father. It makes things easier on our end." Not stepfather. Father. I read that sentence 10 times. It wasn't a typo. It was a choice. A strategy. After that, I didn't lash out. Didn't text. Didn't call. I went silent and started pulling threads. It didn't take long to discover the truth. Daniel had been managing my daughter's trust, the one I'd been building since she was 7. A little here, a little there, 10 grand, 5, birthdays, milestones, quiet deposits I never bragged about. Over the years, it had grown not millions, but enough to start a life, a real life. Now, my name was gone. The bank statements told the story. Forged authorizations, redirected statements, digital fingerprints scrubbed. He hadn't just replaced me, he erased me. On her private Instagram, I found family vacation photos, beaches, birthdays, graduations, captions like, asterisk, so proud of my girl, asterisk, but no mention of me, not once. Even the childhood photos I'd taken, me crouched beside her with a camera in hand, were now posted with new filters, new credits, and Daniel in the frame. He hadn't just taken my place. He had rewritten the narrative, but he made one fatal error. He underestimated how closely I kept records, receipts, legal documents, originals, and, perhaps most importantly, I knew people. One of them owed me a favor, a quiet man, the kind who doesn't break laws. He breaks illusions. Together, we trace the timeline, piece together the manipulations, the fraud, and one buried detail. Years ago, Daniel had been investigated in another state for identity fraud. Charges dropped, case sealed, but not forgotten. Not by me. I didn't go to the engagement party to make a scene. I wore black, not for mourning, but for clarity, for a purpose. I didn't plan to walk through the door. I only wanted to see her one last time, to remind myself what this fight had been for. But Daniel saw me, and he made the mistake of speaking. After a smug little laugh, I walked away, calm, steady, 15 minutes later, the groom received a digital package, bank transfers, altered forms, scanned documents, and one voice memo. Daniel's voice, saying the words that sealed his fate. Asterisk, will cut the old man out completely. No need for him in the picture. Asterisk, the groom read everything. And unlike Daniel, he had integrity. He loved her enough to be angry at lies. He walked straight into the middle of the celebration and confronted her beside the cake. Guests froze. Glasses stopped midair. Someone dropped a flute of champagne. She blinked, stunned, confused. And then he said it. You never told me who your real father was. That's when she looked around. Really looked. For the first time in years, she searched the room for me. But I wasn't there. I had already walked away. I don't know what she feels now. Maybe it's shock. Maybe guilt. Or maybe nothing at all. But I didn't do it to punish her. I did it to break the lie. To give her the truth. The real story, undeniable and irreversible. I didn't scream. Didn't demand apologies. I gave her a choice. Now, I sit by the same lake we used to visit together. The boat's gone, lost in the divorce. But the water still remembers us. The ripples still speak our names. My phone buzzes. I let it ring. She'll call again. Or she won't. Either way, I'm not the ghost in someone else's story anymore. I'm the man who wrote the ending. And this time, they'll remember my name.